...2018 by far was one of the best years of my life. If I had to give it one word, it would be transformation. It was when I turned 33. For me, there's so much meaning behind that number. It means like the Holy Trinity. Basically, so much came together for me, mind, body, and spirit. I'm just super grateful. I kicked off the year by, celebrating the New Year's at my club in Charleston, South Carolina. Many people don't even know I have a club, but it definitely was fun just enjoying the fruits of my labor. And then from there, it was off to Miami. I'll never forget getting into Miami, one of my favorite places, shooting for a brand that I love, Dove, and then just heading over to see Bad Bunny in concert. Then it was off to Texas. I promised myself that when my grandfather turned 99 years old, that I would be there for him no matter what was going on with work. So I flew into Bronzeville, Texas, and spent a week with my grandfather, taking in all of his wisdom. He taught me so much, and if there was the one thing that he left me with, it's that enjoy the day. Is no tomorrow, so take advantage of every single moment today. Since I was in Texas, I decided to fly over to meet up with my boy Christian Guzman. Got a crazy gym workout in, and then spent the entire day learning about how he's built his fitness empire. Then it was off to Joshua Tree. My boy Daniel DiPiazza had an amazing bachelor party. And you may be thinking bachelor parties are typically about bottles and, getting drunk. But this time around, it was really all about us going internal, really being around a group of guys that elevated me, inspired me, empowered me. We went hiking, we talked about our love life, we talked about our goals, we talked about how we wanted to level up, and we went on one of the most spiritual journeys of my entire life. Then, right from Joshua Tree, I head all the way to Israel. This was crazy. This is definitely one of the best trips of my entire life. Shout out to the Schusterman Foundation for picking me as one of the 50 leaders from around the world to be able to be sponsored to go on this trip and learn about the Israeli culture, learn about the tech ecosystem in Tel Aviv, and then, of course, how can I forget going into the Dead Sea and walking the 7 stations of Jesus, really going to Jerusalem and just embracing all of that history. One of the most inspiring parts of this trip was definitely meeting a Holocaust survivor and going to the Holocaust Museum. I learned so much from that. I think there's so much that we can continue to learn from history. Then I had to fly home because I had to start shooting my new show, Gray Area, with Ink. Then it was off to launching my new LCL live in person, with the Prudential Center at the Grammy Museum. Then it was off to the Hamptons, for one of the sickest sunset rides, taking a helicopter to a winery and just spending the day with my boy and just seeing how beautiful this winery was and just embracing the Hamptons. Then it was back to Leaders Create Leaders, interviewing Ainsley.
Thank you so much for being on this show.
Interviewing my boy Ed Milet.
The most I drank before an interview was with the dude who killed Bin Laden. So
amazing.
That's a great interview.
Wow.
That episode was definitely by far one of my favorite episodes, flying and just spending the day with Ed at his house in Laguna Beach with the most unbelievable views. I remember just being there laughing with Ed and just taking in all of his wisdom. And it was off to one of the best speeches of my life at Relentless. Shout out to Danny Morrell for bringing me out to Relentless. This was a huge stage. Thousands of people. I'm so grateful to be a storyteller, and I crushed that speech. And it was off to Mykonos for me, just definitely getting that party in, just having fun, being with a bunch of my friends. And we literally stayed at the best villa in Mykonos. We threw a sick party, and I just met a bunch of new friends.
You found me.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. Andiamo.
Then I head to Italy. This was a dream come true. I got to take my entire family, my mom, my dad, my sisters, my niece, my nephews, my entire family. We got to go to Rome. Then we got to take a yacht. I'll never forget being able to take them around Positano and around Capri, going and visiting the Vatican Church. But the moment of seeing my mom in the pool and just how grateful I was just looking at her for all of her sacrifices, that she's made in order for me to be able to become successful, to do this for my family. And why do we work so hard? It's to do these type of things for the people we love. So definitely taking my family to Italy was a highlight of 2018.
And then it was off to the Big Apple, New York City, to meet up with my business partner Yaya and start shooting content for our new company, World Class Leader.
Today, new goals, let's own it. And in this special edition of Leaders Create Leaders, we're getting ready to meet up with someone who is a legend. I mean, when I got the phone call that he would actually come to my charity event and really perform his methodologies around energy and the spinal cord, you know, on our entire team, I freaked out. Oh! Yes!
Just got off the phone with Dr. Donnie Epstein.
There's one thing that the world does not want us to find out, and that is the truth about ourselves. Why? Because that's the day that we become free. We can no longer be controlled, manipulated, exploited, drained, enslaved, imprisoned, and disempowered. Therefore, the inner voyage of discovery is cloaked over with an aura of forbidding and mastery.
But that led me to meeting one of the greatest inspirations and thought leaders of this year. I went and interviewed my boy Jay Shetty. He was the first episode of season 4, and just like getting an opportunity to sit with the millennial monk himself. He made wisdom go viral. He's making so much impact for our generation and the next generation. So this year, I also got to work with some of the greatest brands. You know, like all that hard work, building my brand, telling my story is finally paying off. You know, it was a dream to work with Marriott, work with Amex, work with Sprint, you know, for sure, traveling the world and just embracing all the new M clubs and all the new, like definitely hotels that Marriott has redesigned was definitely one of the best parts of my year. Going to Egypt, going and seeing the Great Pyramids, going and visiting Mel Robbins at her house, like one of the most awesome leaders that I've ever got a chance to sit with. I mean, not only is she the #1 female motivational speaker in the world, but she's just a straight up, most authentic, raw badass. I mean, she tells it like it is. Then it was off to LA to meet up with one of the best creators of our time, Rory Kramer. I mean, I just really respect Rory. I mean, it was right after Rory just got into a almost fatal car accident that shaped his entire life. And just getting him to open up in this interview was extremely hard. Then it was off to Thrive, one of the biggest events for entrepreneurs around the world. Shout out to Cole Hatter and his wife, Sonia, for inviting me and having me as a keynote. I mean, that was definitely a highlight, speaking to over 1,000 people that were just motivated and inspired to live their best life.
Let's go. Let's get it, Thrive. Thank you.
I crushed that speech, and it was awesome to get a chance to hang with my boy Eric Thomas. Now off to London for another gig with Marriott. I mean, this trip was sick. Going to the skate park and being able to see one of the most iconic skate parks, you know, around the world, and then just going and embracing all the history at that Marriott at London. Go and just spend time with my boy Bradley Theodore in the art gallery and shoot for Leaders Create Leaders. You know, by far, London is one of my most favorite places of 2018. Then it was off to Amsterdam to bike ride with my boy Jason Silva, one of the greatest storytellers of our time.
The mind gathering of fantastic humans exchanging and brainstorming ideas on how to make this a better world.
Very spontaneously, we were like, you know what, we're in Amsterdam, why not fly to Iceland? So I flew into Iceland, and this was the most magical place of 2018. I just became one with Mother Nature. I'll never forget just standing in front of that waterfall and the most amazing rainbow just forming right in front of my eyes.
There's a fucking rainbow around, circle right here.
It was a moment that I completely disconnected from all technology and from the rest of the world and just embraced being.
Instead of people making a New Year's resolution and waiting for 2019, make a mental resolution right now in your life.
Yeah.
Like, fuck New Year's. Like, you can do that shit right now.
Yeah.
Then I remember flying into LA to hang out and dance with my girl Danny Lay. Shout out to Danny, she just dropped her new album, The Plan. But having her on the show was super cool.
Radiance Festival 2018.
How many of you know that you have a gift? Say I. And if you did it, you're welcome. Yes, you do. Every single one of you. gift. You're a gift to a mom. You're a gift to a little brother and older brother. Sometimes, most of all, you're a gift to people you don't even know.
Seeing my younger sister create something out of nothing that brought people together off of technology, and just getting to see everyone just really meditating together and sound healing and just really just being present. This was just so beautiful to me. I got to spend time with my mom there, all the people from Founders, and it was just an amazing, amazing thing to see that my sister create that with her team. Then it was off to Egypt, to the Great Pyramids. I mean, shit, this was definitely one of the great and most amazing trips, man. Seeing what was created out there and how big these pyramids were and how they created them. Meditating with the camels, that shit was lit. I never thought I'd be doing that. Then it was flying to meet with Susie Patisse, the founder of Poo-Pourri. I can't wait for this episode to drop in season 5. But the highlight was just being with her in her home. It was like a temple. You know, she calls it the temple of transformation. And just really getting to see her heart. Wow, she has so much to give. No wonder she's built an $800 million empire that's growing.
432 is the vibration of love. Yeah, and you can feel it.
No, I felt it.
Yeah, you're different. It's for all those fears, security.
Then it was off to Alabama to head to one of the top millennial entrepreneurs of our generation, Colin Wayne. Man, this guy reminded me of Andy Frisella, just spending time with him, just seeing him build his empire, the dedication he had for his team, the dedication he has for his company, and definitely having some fun along the way. You know, just chilling with him in his Rolls Royce, driving around, being with him in his Lamborghini, the Aston Martin, the mansion. I mean, he is definitely the American dream. Do the fucking work, baby! Yeah! Love that.
Let's see that.
Woo! That's good. Then it was off to Austin, kick it with my boy Aubrey Marcus at On It. I mean, not only do I respect him so much for him being such a leader in the spiritual space, but just as a CEO, I got to see how he really interacted with his team, see the entire culture that he's created at the On It headquarters, and then he kicked my butt in the gym. But it was a really awesome way to kind of just see what it's like to be a part of the On It culture.
Nas is about to drop an album, and he has a line that I really like. He says, "My father wasn't a banker, neither was my neighbor. When it came to getting paper, who the hell was going to train us?"
Then a highlight was definitely one of our episodes with John Henry on Leaders Create Leaders, just completely going viral, blowing through 800,000 views, and now finally getting some videos over 1 million views. Shout out to that Leaders Create Leaders community. Me being someone who really enjoys and loves artwork so much, going to Alex Gray's house was a huge, huge part of my life. You know, he's such an unbelievable artist, and I'm just super glad I got to do that. Off to Miami, landed and crushed a keynote at the Dream Mastermind.
Our planet needs it. Our planet doesn't even need more successful people. It needs storytellers. It needs people that care. People are suffering, the planet is suffering. But if you understand how to simplify what your expertise is, simplify your message, and then create a movement around your message, build your personal brand, build the business of you, ultimately become world-class, and it takes time.
It was definitely a highlight, another speak engagement crush. I can't wait to do more of these in the new year and just make sure that I continue to bring our community together and make sure that I do it while also still taking out a yacht, because that was lit in Miami.
As we peel the cacao seed, I want you to shed any fear that you may have held this year in 2018. Anything you've held inside that has been an insecurity to you, has been a fear or a doubt. This is in honor of our souls and the souls of our ancestors. But you are loved. You are deeply, deeply loved.
Went to my birthday in Tulum and got some of my closest friends and closest thought leaders that are in my life to come to Tulum, spend time with me. I did a cacao ceremony with them. We just spent time meditating, masterminding our dreams together, jumping in the pool, eating breakfast together, eating dinner together, embracing each other's energy, going out at night and just dancing the night away to the full moon. It was definitely one of the greatest birthdays of my life.
Happy birthday to you.
And now I'm off to Costa Rica for another journey to kick off the new year. This time, I'm gonna be doing something I've never done before, but I'll tell you guys about that in 2019. It's your boy G. I love you guys. Thanks for being a part of this journey with me. And remember, leaders create leaders.